Good day everyone, today I will present Singapore as a global financial center focusing on stability and institutional resilience. In this presentation I will explain why Singapore matters global finance. Then I will compare with Hong Kong and Shanghai, evaluate of the role mass and supranational institutions show how global shocks affect Singapore, and finally I give strategy recommendations. Singapore is one of the most financial centers in Asia and in the world. Its trade comes from cross-border banking, foreign exchange activity, wealth assets management, trade finance, and strong market infrastructure. It's not be a biggest stock market in Asia, but it is one of the most trusted, effective, and internationally contact center, especially in South Asia. And third slide, Singapore attract global financial because it offered political stability, strong regulation, and strategic location, and highly skilled workforce. It also has strong legal system and good reputation for innovation and governance. Another important point is that Singapore serves its giveaway Asia, which makes attractive for investors, banks, and multinational companies. So, in first slide, when we compare Singapore with Hong Kong or Shanghai, we can see that each center has different advantage. Hong Kong is strong, its listing scale and access to China. Shanghai is strong in domestic market size and state packets deep. Singapore stands out for regulation, trust, international driver's science, and connectivity. So Singapore remains straight with not size but quality, resilience, and credibility. So for the next slide, the SWOT analyzing show Singapore's positions clearly. It means straight, regularity, credibility, 3x, and wealth hub, driver side, refined global connectivity, weakness, small domestic market, weak IPO dynamic, and with Hong Kong relied on the cross-border flows. Opportunities, satisfied finance, private markets, and family office, digital assets, Asian intermediates. So, threats, geopolitical fragmentation, Hong Kong, Dubai, Shanghai, rivalry, and rate side violation, fees, cross-border, and exports. So next slide. Singapore financial works like a chain. First, mass provided policy director and predictable overhead. Second, CGX and payment systems provide markets infrastructure. Third, banks, asset managers, and insurance act for intermediaries. After that, companies, infrastructure, and family officers use a system as cleans. The final outcome is finding liquid foreign exchange minute and wealth creates. It shows that Singapore is not only market but it's complete financial platform. And the next slide. Next slide. If we benchmark Singapore against Hong Kong and Shanghai, Singapore performs expected with a foreign exchange levels professional service. Like GFCI ranks 27 ranks. Singapore is 4, Hong Kong is 3, Shanghai is 8. PX global share. So Singapore is 9%, Hong Kong is 7, Shanghai is non-available. Equality cap 160% in Singapore, 1,180 in Hong Kong, and Shanghai is large. Professional service rank. Singapore is first rank. Sales benchmarks. Singapore is a GFC ranks the large that FX share. Hong Kong, it's a GFC ranks is also biggest, and Shanghai is the same. So Hong Kong still large, most large in the stock market. That's while Shanghai has strong domestic scale. Even so, Singapore remains very competitive because it performs strongly across several areas at the same time. This balanced performance one of the reasons why it stays near to top global ranking. What Singapore does better and worse than rivals? Singapore leads regularity, credibility, verified information, wealth and finds economic systems, FX commodities like derivatives, plus 8.5% and 61.5 million contracts. Currency derivatives plus 34.2% to 48.2 million contract. Policy innovation with trust. Singapore leads large IPO managed system, China capital resource pool, domestic equity scale, CGX daily traded value to 1.06 billion for 2024. Retail equity liquidity versus Hong Kong and China. Shanghai. Singapore is not trying to be a biggest exchange. It's a model. It's the most trusted multi-asset regional hub. It's a major reason why for Singapore's success in the role of mass monetary authentify and Singapore. Mass it's unusual because combines central banking regulation and financial sector development on the instruction. It uses on the an exchange rate centers policy frameworks. The Singapore dollars nominal effect exchange rate for or US dollar. At the system, at the same time, survival, the financial system management, reserves and supports innovation. They give Singapore is a more integrated policy model than many other countries. How effective has mass been? Effective. Exchange rate credibility, financial stability, reputation, integrity, achievement. Protective manufacturing and housing tools and inflation fell 6.5 percent for 2022, 2.7% for April 2024. I think it's important. Construct less institutes that rate-based systems. Important inflation experts. Innovation versus predictable tension. Cross-border affects vulnerability. So, next part. How superficial institution shape Singapore? Singapore also shaped by superficial institutions such as the IMF, BIS, and FSB. The IMF infrastructure policy strong reliable and actual I6. The BIS shapes standards central bank cooperation and innovation, especially through the BIS. The FSB infrastructure results standards overhead of non-bank financial institution and cross-border coordination. Singapore uses global standards for strength and credibility, the international reputation. BIS finance and Singapore's innovated and adventure. In 2018, BIS innovated Hub Center Singapore launched first global expansion in 70 years. 2020 and 2023, Central Bank Vantage collaboration with the project Digital Money Exploration. 2024, Programmability Money, token system, and digital infrastructure explosion under mass. Singapore is deeply connected with the world. The global shocks quickly affected. For example, when global platforms rules, major central banks fight with policy. This infrastructure finding a cost strength of the US dollar and shifts capital flows. As a result, Singapore can face immortal infrastructure and cross-border financial stress. This slide shows how brings both opportunity while which with policy discipline remains very important. The next slide. Interconnectivity, how global shocks reach Singapore. First, global ranking system majors CBS tried finding across US straighten conditions tightening capital flows should Singapore important for PX cross border trades mass tight policy microphone village Singapore equal 9% of the global PX tournament in 2022. 5 centers intermittent 78% of the global FX cross-border 62% of the CH PX turnover. So Singapore PX share from the 2019 7.62 strategic direction ethyl consideration. Looking ahead, Singapore should focus on for stage preparation first. It should depend wealth management, private markets, and sustainable finance. Second, it should strengthen public equality, issue attractiveness. Third, it should scale trusted digital finance and token system carefully. First, it should protect social engagements through anti-scam measures and customers. Equally, finance should support predictive investment and trust, not only short-term special. The conclusion recommendations. To conclude, Singapore remains of the world leading financial center because it's combining regulation credibility cross border, intermittent and interoperability. It's a challenge, it's not survival, but staying competitive against Hong Kong capital markets, stretch Shanghai domestic scale. My recommends are to preserve mass credibility, improve CHS liquidity and listing, depends Asian linked wealth and private markets capitals. Thank you for listening. I'm ready for a question. Bye.